What's up, guys? It's Sean here with Bar Austin, and right now I've gone on Griff from National Disgrace. I met Griff way back in the day at Bat Bar. He's just a really good dude, and like up until this interview today, funny enough, I've been wearing the hats in every single interview. So if you see the hat I'm wearing in the interviews earlier, it's one of his. So how you doing, man?
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys having me. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, man. Just kind of chilling, relaxing, keeping my mind right.
Yeah, man, I've been talking to TJ for a while about you and just the fact that way back when, probably in fucking January, I don't even remember when we were talking about it, but just you were the first person that kind of let me know about this coronavirus stuff.
It's current events, and those are things I pay attention to. Also, I had a rather large and extensive trip through Asia planned for like February, March. More importantly, a lot of China, a little bit of Japan, and some Hong Kong action as well. And due to unforeseen circumstances, which would be COVID-19, I had to cancel those plans. So I was definitely being rather attentive to it, and trying to see what was going on. I didn't want to put myself at harm's way in regards to traveling or any of that.
Definitely. And so, like, so take it back to, March 17th when they closed all the bars down. Like, how did that start to affect you?
I mean, so yeah, I mean, I've been bartending downtown for a long time, 12 years or so, something along those lines down on 6th Street. And so, obviously when the venues close, that definitely affects me. That's my job, man. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. So it affects me large. And also everyone around me, folks such as you survive off of the venues and the live music, and my fellow bartenders and door guys and bar backs and general managers and owners. It's definitely it's a trickle effect, and I mean, you can start it out either way, but it's going to affect everybody throughout, and that's the bottom line.
For
I
sure.
I had kind of made the decision around like March 13th that I wasn't really. I worked that night. It was a Saturday, and after that, I came home, and I'm like, man, I'm not going out. I'm not going out. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever you know, I'm going to get a couple of my shifts covered, kind of see what happens, but this is it for me. And yeah, I mean, that was right before South by, that's a big one, man. That's huge. That's one of my favorite, like, weeks to 12 days out of the year for sure.
Because you had a lot of the events like surrounding it, not just the music stuff, correct?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally for me, man, I'm pretty lucky, and I've always been able to work around like getting a good schedule for South by and checking out a lot of music. I'm a huge hip hop head, so that's one of the most like hip hop packed weeks that Austin has. So I'm definitely trying to be in the mix as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, I had a handful of merch booths I was going to do with my boys Black Alac. They're up in the building here. Those are the boys. And it affects everybody. Those are local artists, worldwide artists. Um, so yeah, it was crazy. I would have never thought I'd see something. I mean, South by in itself is such a giant event. It's like there's nothing like it, and for that to get shut down is like, okay.
When I saw that, like that they were talking about it, I was like, "There's no way they're actually going to cancel this thing," and then they did, and I was like, "Okay, here we go." That's when I started to realize things were getting different. You and I have talked about that. You wanted to spend, a lot of time with, working with your company and stuff like that. I'm sure having this time, not having to work the bar, like has helped you. Like, what have you been up to during the time that we've been in quarantine and all that?
I've definitely been focusing super heavy on my company, man. Like, I'm super appreciative that it's there for me to have something like positive to do, and like kind of like set goals and keep moving, down the road. I'm like super appreciative of that. I was just like, man, you know, this in itself, if you wouldn't have created this business, you wouldn't have shit to do but play Call of Duty during quarantine, dog. And I was like, fuck that, bro. I'm stoked that I have this. And I've been gunning hard, bro. Like, honestly, dude, heavy on TikTok, bro. Been smashing on TikTok. Go follow my TikTok, national_disgrace. Heavy on the TikTok for sure, dude. which is crazy, but I've definitely seen direct results. So like anytime you see direct results in something you put in, I've always been a fan of it, regardless of anything, you know, like I've been helping my homies and been throwing hip hop shows before the internet, you know, like spray adhesive flyers on posts and such, you know. And I used to tell the homies, I'm like, bro, even if we get like one more person that's hype on the product or so one CD to a new head, that's worth it, you know. So still for me, every hat I sell, I get hype. Every single hat, every hat I get hype. Like how could I not? Like
For sure.
is like looking at my stuff from across the world, and they took it out of their time to purchase it, you know. So immediately, as soon as I get an order, dude, it goes in the box and it gets ready to go, you know. Like leading up to this, I was just boxing up a bunch of orders from today to ship out tomorrow. That's pretty much the only place I've been going.
A lot.
The post office and to the grocery store. That's it. That's the only places I've been going since March 13th. And very like sparingly, very like planned out, you know, like make sure you get everything for a decent amount of time. Like for me, it's like, okay, I'm a healthy dude, and you know, I just want to stay out of the way. I want to stay out of the way. I don't want to add fuel to the fire. I want to respect everybody's boundaries, stay out of the way, and hopefully that transpires to me as well. You know, people will stay out of my way and respect my boundaries, and that's all.
For sure. Business has still been good during this time.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, man, I've been enjoying growing the online, you know, and like that does take time, you know. So like some of this like time that would traditionally be spent at work, you know, is spent
pouring it all back into the business.
putting it into National Disgrace, you know, and I'm appreciative of it, you know. But at the same time, you know, big hip hop shows that we go out and sponsor. I miss South by. That's a huge deal for me. 420 in Denver, Colorado. That's a huge deal for me. I go up there and spend 2 weeks with my bros, sponsor a handful of hip hop shows, have a great time, move a lot of merch. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a worldwide deal, man. It is a worldwide deal. There's no way around it. You know, everybody is involved somehow.
Out of that, what type of changes would you like to see as far as your business goes, or as far as the just the scene in Austin? Talked a lot about, you know, hip hop music and stuff like that. Like, what would you like to see come out of all this? You know, when everything's kind of back to normal-ish.
I mean, hopefully people sat around and got to be thankful for shit, like all the good food that we have in our fridges, you know? Like for me personally, man, I was like, man, I'm gaining a little weight over here, bro. And I immediately was like, to myself, I was like, hey, bro, if the least of your problems at the end of this is like getting a little chunky, you're on the lucky side, bro. Like I'm blessed for that, bro. I have food, bro. Like I'm super blessed for that. I have time to cook it. So I've been actually cooking really well for myself. I found that super important, you know, like, I don't know.
Like, I haven't been eating out as much because I haven't been, you know, traveling all the time to shows, and I've been like, man, I feel a lot better.
I haven't eaten out once. Like I said, only the grocery store and the post office. So I haven't eaten out once. I've cooked every single meal in house since March 13th, which is wild. Like I haven't cooked in like 7 years. I'm a good cook, but I don't want to. I'm a bachelor, bro. I go.
Well, yeah, between working and then, you know, running a business, it's like, when did you really have time to cook?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like now it's like, bro, like it's like I said, I'm thankful for the grub, dude, but it's to the point where it's like, fuck, dude, I just want to go get like, I want Corriente, bro. Shout out Corriente over there across from Empire. Those are all great local businesses. Huge love to those dudes for sure, for sure. But yeah, you know, we miss some of those things. You take it for granted, bro. It's like, I'll hop in the Uber, jump out, go to Corriente, full bomb-ass meal, ready to rumble. I don't have to do my dishes. I don't have to do anything, bro. I just sit there, bro, and everything is perfect. But then all these people find something to bitch about, right? It's like, dude, if you don't want mushrooms, if you don't want no mushrooms, then go to your house and cook it with no mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. No, sure, man. I think it's definitely made people appreciate, you know, eating out and live music and like a whole bunch of different things in a different light that we've never looked at it before.
I hope the live music comes back, bro, like huge, you know, like it might be slow, dude, for the bigger shows.
For sure. What place, like when it comes back, are you looking forward to seeing a show at the most?
man, I mean, like I said, I love Empire, like for like local shows, and some bigger stuff too, man. They bring a lot of good hip hop to the area here. ACL Live is a pretty dope venue. I've seen some good stuff there. You know, it just all depends on who it is for the most part. You know, obviously, I'd love to go home to Denver, Colorado, and see the family, and possibly go to Red Rocks, Cervantes. Those are all places I
Everybody
love.
forgets, even if you're going out now, like, I mean, it's fixing to get hot as fuck out there. We live in Texas.
Bro, it was 98 degrees. Sorry, I was trying to find my water. It was 98 degrees today, bro. It's like, what, boy? Like,
You're
so,
telling me I did 7 interviews in the garage today.
bro. Yeah, I've been like hanging out, you know, like trying to get a little sunlight on me, bro. Like, honestly, dude, like, as soon as all this happened, bro, I like made this little like, it's like stay cool. I just wrote on there, and then I wrote this Mac Miller line on there, just for a little inspiration. But then like on the inside is like positive vibes for quarantine, dude. It's like daily doodles, push ups, sit ups, pull ups, bike rides, read Chinese lessons, work on Purple Tiger, which is another one of my companies that I work with, like imports, international imports, and then National Disgrace, work on National Disgrace, things like that, dude. You know, get sunshine, and then I like documented it all, and it actually turned out to be kind of cool. So, you know, it's something
That's
to look back on, dude, to make sure you're like, you know, dude, like I like to do. I'm a doer, bro, and I like to have like not necessarily proof of that, but like I can look back on that and be like, all right, dude, you played a lot of Call of Duty, but you were making these attempts to do other stuff as well, and that's important. You know, I don't try not to beat myself up about the Call of Duty thing, bro, but that is like, I mean, there's a lot of that going on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the important part about this whole time is that, you know, like developing some sort of routine, so that you have things to look forward to and things that when they're done, you'll feel accomplished with, because that's what I think a lot of people are missing being at home. So if you
No,
have
for
that
sure.
stuff out, like it definitely helps you. And you've always been somebody to stay busy. Like you would always tell me all the different shit you were doing. I'm like, how do you fucking do all that? So I'm just trying to keep up. But, it sounds like you kept that same attitude throughout this whole time, basically.
I mean, yeah, definitely got to stay busy. Like, dude, I put rules on it. Like, dude, no Call of Duty before dark, like ever. Like, there's no reason to turn on the PlayStation before dark. Like, that's a big deal. Sometimes I get excessive, but like, like I literally have only done it once, and that's because there was like some kind of update, and I wanted to check it out, and it didn't even work out, dude. So I was like, I told myself, I'm like, don't fuck with the sun gods, bro. Like, they know what's up, dog. And like, it's big stuff like that, or not even big stuff, little stuff, or like no, like you got to shower every day, dude. Like, still got to feel good, bro. Or like, just because you spill a little peanut butter on your shirt, but nobody's looking, doesn't mean don't stay crisp. But I'm not saying like do excessive amounts of laundry either. It's just those are things that keep the fucking mind right, dude.
Right. No, I mean, that's the other reason I decided to start doing the live streams every day is because, like, I'd have to get up and take a shower and, like, try to look nice for the stream so that I wouldn't just look like I'm rolling in out of bed.
All right,
So,
dude. That's like that's huge for sure. You definitely want to be looking good. It feels good, and yeah, just that's it, dude. Stay positive, bro. Any like bullshit online, dude, like not standing for it, not dealing with it. I'm deleting people that are negative or what have you. There's no room for it, dude. There's literally no room for it. We are all suffering, dude. If you just want to be crappy about it, then go be crappy nowhere near me. That's all I can say. Like,
for sure.
and I'm also definitely like limiting social media was a big one too. So like this all kind of started taking away when I was just trying to get like bigger goals into play for like 2020, right? Like business and personal goals. So some of that stuff plays into it, like a lot, like one of my bigger goals for the year was easy on social media. Don't just scroll away, dude. We're all guilty of scrolling, right? So like, I was like, dude, be aware of what you're doing. So,
Right.
that's a big one now, especially now because there's a lot of not real stuff going on. There's
There's a
so
lot of
much.
confusing, like, stuff, yeah, where it's, you'll read one article and then it's one article right after it the complete other way, and you're like, what is even happening right now? So
Right.
you can,
That's why I was like, dude, I'm stepping back, man.
I
Trying to
think
stay
you're right.
off Twitter, bro. Twitter's a wild place, bro.
TJ and I have talked quite a bit about Twitter.
I still don't get Twitter. I don't understand what I'm doing. And when it comes to TikTok, I have no clue what I'm doing there either. Both those are just like weird social media platforms.
Man, Twitter's crazy, but if you can hit it, bro. I mean, I struggle with it too. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like some of the raw material I see on there is like some of the best like news that I've seen about this whole scenario. You know?
Yeah, it can be for sure. And, well, I mean, Twitter is a weird one where you'll tweet one thing and you'll get like one follower or like one like from something. But then all of a sudden you'll tweet one thing and you'll get 20, 30 likes and 40 followers or something. You go, how is this one thing different from what I just said earlier, where you feel like the exact same thing? Why is this tweet better than that tweet?
I feel like Twitter kind of boils down to like relativity and current events really heavily, like super heavy. I mean, like immediate current events, like what is happening exactly at that time somewhere in the world. And like, I don't know, I guess like ultimately, if what you're tweeting about pertains to what's going on at the time, it's going to surface with what's trending and all that. Like I said, I struggle with it, but I definitely am on it. But I've tried not to be because it can be a wormhole, man. You can just go. And it's like, bro, step back.
4 hours later, here you are looking at like whatever random video, and you're like, how did I even get here?
Yeah, and you're thinking about the world too heavy, bro. It's like, all right, step back.
What do you have like coming up, like that you're excited about? Like you got some new designs or anything like that that you're excited to get out there or anything like that you want to let people know about?
I mean, yeah, dude, I always have new designs. I'm always ready, like stacked, but ready, dude, for designs. So yeah, I'm always excited about that. Like, I try to drop a couple designs a week, new hats, brand new hats. Other than that, I did the cool masks. I got some other cool ones coming for the people. That was like kind of important to me. I was like, I personally wanted one. So I got some more of those coming that are obviously a little more like vibrant and wild, which is like kind of my way. I always have wild patterns and such. So I got some wild ones. Other than that, man, I'm just kind of chilling, dude. Some of this stuff makes it hard to plan for like the far, far future, like I'm sitting here, I'm like trying to plan a trip back to Hong Kong, which I mean, Hong Kong, they're doing pretty healthy with all this, but now's not the time to travel. I'm thinking more in the future, but do I want to book a flight for a year from now? What's going to be going on in a year from now? Things like that. So I'm just trying not to like make plans that might let me down, like, oh, I'm going to make a merch booth at some big event or what have you, anything along those lines. Just, dude, stay positive and just keep trying to grow online because I feel like there's going to be a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of, that's the future, anything touchless.
Yeah, and hopefully, if we get anything out of this, people start to take hygiene a little bit more seriously and people start to appreciate what they have.
Absolutely. The hygiene thing's weird to me, bro. It's like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't shower every day? Like, dude, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't want to get into that because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But like, for me, that's a big deal, dude. Like, my mom was like, like, cut your fingernails every whatever and clean out your ears and like, dude, that she made like every day, take a shower. Like, yeah, like.
I just mean like bringing awareness to like if you leave the fucking restroom, wash your hands. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah, that's weird, dude. That's crazy shit, dude. Like, I was talking to one of my good homies before the coronavirus really broke in the U.S., and I'm like, bro, the U.S. is not ready for that shit. I'm like, these fools are out 300 deep on a Friday night, touching their dickies with their hands and pissing on their fingers and then not washing their hands, bro, rolling out into the crowd and be like, bro. I can tell you one thing, bro. I'm not shaking anybody's hand in the next like month to two. Like it'll all be like, I already do my like kind of like appreciation bow, dude, and like that's pretty much what people are going to be getting from me, dude. I mean, technically, if I went home, I wouldn't even really hug my parents at this point. I don't think. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know.
It's
But
just like you said earlier. We're just all trying to figure this out day to day. You know what I mean? Like
right.
we're just, and long term plans are maybe not the best plans to make right now, but like, planning for every day is definitely something we should be doing.
Man, I really kind of want to know further into deeper on National Disgrace and what that company is and getting that going.
The premise is like certain things I grew up enjoying, like, hip hop and snowboarding, graffiti. These things were like, quote unquote, like disgraceful back in the day, and there's people in the neighborhood who wouldn't let us hang out with their kids because we were snowboarders or skateboarders or, wild things like that. And like, pretty much don't worry about what anybody else thinks. If what you do is disgraceful, just set your own path and roll on it, dude. Like, I mean, think of like people look at Guns N' Roses. At one time, those dudes were considered like disgraceful, dude. And now here we are watching their world tour of, I can't tell you, I saw it, but I can't remember how many years it is, but they're iconic. They're legends, and like, if they would have just listened to everybody that told them they were disgraceful or fucking crazy or whatever, dude, like they wouldn't have been Guns N' Roses, bro. So
Yep.
That's kind of what it is for me. Like, don't listen to the outside noise. Go with it. Just go. And how it started was I made this hat, dude. Like, I had a bunch of extra hats laying around, and I just started doing art on them. I wonder if I have any. Oh, shit. This could cause problems. This could knock the whole hat wall down, bro.
Good thing this isn't live. We can edit it out if you do.
Keep it in there for sure. So I started doing like my actual paintings on hats, right? So this is just kind of like a simple one, but I made some like really crazy ones. I made like a really crazy one, and I made it for this chick, and she was like, "Well, I don't like the colors," and I was like, "Good, because I don't like you. I'm gonna start a hat company." So pretty much from there, like I made that hat, and I made a couple others. And I just kind of made them for the homies, but they're like really high end and they took a lot of time. And like a couple people started offering to purchase them. And I was like, no, they're not for sale. They're not for sale. They're not for sale. So people got up into like the $150 mark per hat. So I was like, I budged on two of them and I took the $300 and bought an LLC. Like went and filed the LLC and the web page and all this stuff. And, from there kind of started just selling like more like not one-offs. Those are like one-offs. So there's only one of every kind of those hat I ever made. And those are still available, but like I said, they're pricey. They start up there, but they're one-offs and they're guaranteed to never be duplicated or anything along those lines. But now, from there I had to step it up and I had to go into production. I got some patches and stuff and started actually utilizing the brand more so than like the designs. And I couldn't keep up, bro. And eventually I had to find myself a manufacturer, and now I got a manufacturer and I do a lot of work with them overseas, which is cool too. I get to go over there and hang out and take a lot of culture in.
Well, Griff, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man, but like I appreciate you coming on. Do you want to shout out all your social media handles, all that stuff, so people can look you up?
Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is going to be national_disgrace. You should just be able to look up National Disgrace on Facebook. My webpage URL is nationaldisgrace.biz. I know I'm missing a couple handles, but yeah, national_disgrace on Instagram. That's a big one. And if you look hard, you might be able to find our Raw account too. That's kind of just floating out there in space and has some pretty rad shit on it that we don't put on the regular account because I'm such a freak about what goes on the Instagram and what doesn't go on the Instagram and algorithms and patterns and all that. So I had to make another account that was just raw, that I could just not worry about. No format.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I've missed seeing you, not just because of this pandemic stuff, but we haven't seen each other as much even before the pandemic stuff. So it's fucking talk to you, man.
I used to do those Fridays, bro. Talk real hip hop, bro. Speaking of which, Did you see that DMX might be versing Eminem on the next verses, bro? Those crazy battles that they've been putting on, bro.
No shit.
Talk about break the internet, bro. That one's gonna be large.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna check that out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
I'm
Yeah,
not
because man,
missing that, bro. I'm telling you right now, like
good hip hop knowledge from, man. You know,
the what?
those Fridays, that's where I used to get my good hip hop knowledge from, man.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. Hip hop is a big fuel behind me and National Disgrace. You know, it's a big part of my life. So I love sharing that stuff. So glad we could talk about it.
I've always enjoyed good hip hop, and I just, yeah, you know, I can't go through all the bullshit to find the good stuff, and so like talking to you was like, I just cut right to the chase. You know what I mean?
Word up, man. Yeah, you ever got any questions or you ever want any more? Just let me know. I'll sign you up, bro.
For sure, man. All right, man. Well, we appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you when all this is over, man.
Likewise, y'all be safe. Keep up the grind and have a good night. All right.
You too, man.